Hi everybody, Jason DeBono, President of Nuview Trust Company, here with the legislative updates that has impact to IRAs and retirement accounts. Throughout the course of the year, we monitor and listen closely to any activity that may result in favorable or sometimes unfavorable legislation that's being proposed that impacts you and your retirement accounts. The good news today is the legislative updates that we have are in regards to the Secure Act 2.0, which is a follow-on to the Secure Act passed in 2019. The Secure Act was an acronym for setting every community up for retirement. The good news is the Secure Act 2.0 has actually passed the House at an overwhelming bipartisan support of 415 to 5. Now, this is only through the House, which means it has to work its way through the Senate, and many of the things we're going to talk about today are simply proposed and can change. But generally, when we see this overwhelming bipartisan support, the changes tend to just be nominal, although anything can happen. So let's highlight a few of the changes broken down maybe categorically to simplify what's being proposed. Let's start with areas that involve 401ks and or 403bs, which are typically retirement accounts set up through employer plans to encourage individual employees to save for retirement. The first area of proposed change is in automatic enrollment. What this means is that as individuals become eligible for their employer's 401k or 403b plan, they'll automatically be enrolled at a rate of 3%. Now, this minor withdrawal from their paycheck is going to go into a retirement savings vehicle, hopefully, that allows them to have more money and execute a better retirement. Now, for those that may not have the money or may not necessarily have the desire, they can simply opt out. For those that don't, they'll remain in automatic enrollment, and their contribution limit will increase by a percentage each year up to 10%. 10% being a standard positive rate for saving for retirement. However, at any point through the process, they can opt out or stop the additional increase on an annual basis. In addition, one of the things that is really aimed at helping some of the younger investors into retirement savings is a provision that would allow an employer to make matching contributions to a 401k plan against student loan payments. So as a recent college graduate, potentially with student debt, they may be forced to make a tough decision to pay down debt or contribute to their 401k. What's nice about this proposed piece of legislation is if they choose to pay down their student debt, they can still take advantage of their employer offering a payroll match or a contribution match against those student loan payments. In addition, they're making changes to the way that individuals save as they get closer to retirement. So from a catch-up provision, which currently sits for individuals over the age of 50, there's a couple of proposed changes. One is there's proposed changes to increase the limits for those that are over 50 across the board, which is great. They're also looking to make catch-up contributions, which is defined as those contributions only available to those over 50 or older. They're looking or proposing that those contributions automatically go into a Roth deferral as opposed to pre-tax. In addition, the Fed loves the idea of Roth accounts because it produces money into the Treasury from a tax standpoint up front. So there's some interesting legislation there that we're going to want to take a closer look at as it gets through the Senate. Another really cool provision of Roths is that they're looking to extend Roth contribution eligibility into both the employee deferral inside SEP and Simples, as well as the employer deferral. So those currently enrolled in a simple IRA or SEP IRA, all of those plans, both employee and employer deferrals, are being done at a pre-tax level. Another provision for individuals getting closer to retirement is another extension of required minimum distribution timing. In the original Secure Act passed in 2019, they raised the RMD age from 70 and a half to 72. Secure Act 2.0 furthers that from 72 to 73 with a gradual increase over time, potentially up to 75. What this means is that you may not be forced to take money out of your retirement account as quickly as you would be under the previous provisions, which allows you to continue to generate tax-deferred wealth for a longer period of time. While there's a lot of other smaller provisions that may be impactful, we're going to hold off on discussing some of those until we get more detail. But we'll wrap up with one that is a very unique provision, especially as it relates to self-directed retirement accounts, which is a reduced penalty for prohibited transactions. Again, not all the details are crystal clear, but what's been proposed is actually eliminating the entire account penalty and distribution that may occur if a prohibited transaction is deemed inside a retirement account, and instead limiting any penalty and distributions only to the area or investment that had a prohibited transaction. While we're certainly not encouraging clients to toe the line or push the envelope, we understand at times there may be transactions that have a little ambiguity from a rule perspective. And so this provision is one that, again, while we're not supporting it for people to go create prohibited transactions, it's an exciting one because it says to individual investors that they want you to go out and be creative. They want you to use all the availability that self-direction offers. And if you do run afoul of the rules, the penalties may not be as egregious as they had been prior. So more to come before we talk further or finalize any opinions on what the provision actually reads. The good news is it's made it through the House and it's found its way to the Senate. So like any legislation that's not signed into law, there's always lots of things that can change. The great news here is that all of the provisions that appear to be on the table all look very good from an IRA standpoint and are very favorable to the self-directed IRA industry, which we're excited to see. We will continue to monitor this through the Senate, and we'll continue to monitor it until it's potentially passed into law once it's signed effectively by the president. There's no timetable on that. We'll have to just keep a close eye on it, and we'll continue to keep you posted. Stay tuned and continue to follow Nuview on all of our social media channels, including YouTube, so that you can be up to date as we get this information and we deliver it to you. We appreciate you tuning in and trusting Nuview for not only your self-directed retirement account custodial services, but also for information on staying up to date with all the rules and regulations and all the opportunities that self-directed IRAs and retirement accounts pose.